Man, you guys look good. All right, so guys, I want to talk to you guys about something that's going on in America. It's been a topic all day, everywhere. Alabama passed laws against abortion. I think it was Tennessee, Mississippi. There's been a couple of states, right? And people are debating and arguing all over the place. Now, as a Christian, I think it's very clear on what your stance should be. All right, the Bible clearly says that I knew you in the womb. All right, and I know the plans, and I know the plans that I have for you. So in the womb, the Lord knows us. He says, I shaped you, I formed you in the womb. So He knows every single child. So as a Christian, our stance is clear. Now, there are some arguments. People say, well, what if, rape happened to the mother and things like that? Let me tell you something. God is a just God, right? And His ways are not our ways. His thoughts are not our thoughts. There's a lot of evil things that happen in the world that we just don't understand, that we don't get, that it doesn't seem fair. But that's why God is God and we are not. We don't have all the answers. We can't figure it out. But we have a guideline that is in the Word of God. But I just wanted you guys to look at my beautiful, wonderful children. Each one of them, all right, has different talents. Each one of them, they like to sing, they like to draw, they want to be librarians, they want to be all kinds of stuff. They've got dreams. And every child, all right, they want to use this term like, oh, it's not a child because, let them see your pretty face, Maria. They want to use the term, oh, it's not a child, and, it's just a little, fetus and things like that. No, every single one, all right, if you ask them, some people say this is the argument, right? They say, well, what if the child grows up in a bad situation and in a bad home and all that stuff? I guarantee you, they've asked many children whose mothers thought about aborting them. They said, I'm glad that my mother chose life and gave me the opportunity to live, at least afforded me the opportunity to try to overcome, afforded me the opportunity, all right, to at least have a fight in life, to have a chance in life. And most people would choose that, all right? My kids have their whole life ahead of them to choose, all right, to do great things, all right? And nobody should be able to take that from them. It's human life. Let me ask you this. They find a little bacteria on Mars, and they say, oh, we found life. So how is that more life than a fetus in the womb? Think about that for a second. If a man were to kill a pregnant woman, right, they say it's a double homicide. Think about that for a second. Really think about that. But I'm going to let my kids go ahead and watch their little movie real quick. I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit more. Say bye to them real quick, guys. All right. Look, guys, thank you. Really good job. I'm going to talk to you guys real quick in the other room. Give me 1 second. So, everything about this argument, right, with abortions really tells you about the mindset in America. And that's what I want to talk about real quickly to you guys, all right? Think about how people are arguing about this right now, all right? Think about, it's almost disgusting to me the way that people are defending it, the way that people are getting upset, the way that people are offended. That really lets you know as a believer what kind of times we're living in America. And that should be a real wake-up sign. I'm not going to drag this video out, though. What I want to tell you is simply this. What the Lord has been showing me. Right now, these laws that are being passed is just proof, once again, of what I told you. We are in a season of peace for believers, and we're in a season of growth. If you want to do something for God, now is the time to do it. If you know that God has a dream or a vision or a ministry, business, whatever it is, now is the time to start working on that. Because if you look at how angry people are, okay, number one, about who's president, all right? Number two, about some of the things he's saying about Christians and stuff like that. And then number three, about these abortions. All right, if you look at what's going on with the LGBTQ, you look at what's going on with the abortions and all of that kind of stuff, there's going to be a time where they're going to find someone to put in political positions of power, and they are going to come out swinging. There are people today who are upset about these laws that are being passed. All right? And there's people who have no God conscience whatsoever, and they feel obligated to come out swinging. They feel obligated to say, you know what, we got to get people in power. We got to change the laws. They're taking our rights to kill our babies. Of course, they're not going to say it like that. But if you look at the arguments and you look at how offended these people are because of what is happening, and you look at how they're trying to silence voices, let me ask you this. Why is it that these people who are getting attacked and beat up, who peacefully protest in front of Planned Parenthood, you know, and they're pro-life, and they're getting kicked and they're getting bullied? You don't see it on the news. There is a view, all right, and I've told you guys this before. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, right? They were called to bow down when there was the sound of the trumpet, right? It's going to be the same thing here in America pretty soon. They're going to try to elect people who are going to pass legislation that's going to cause for a lot of people to have to make a choice. Am I going to bow down or not? Now, this isn't to scare you, and I'm not going to say they're going to, start cutting off, Christians' heads and stuff in America, but it is going to come a time, they're going to ask you eventually on your job, how do you feel about homosexuality? How do you feel? It's very possible, because that's how strong the enemy is trying to fight for territory. If you look at how angry some of these people are literally crying because I can't have an abortion, with all the preventive measures in place. And then what is the argument? Well, what happens if somebody gets raped? But if you look at the percentage, that's very rarely the reason why anybody's getting abortion. They just try to pick the one argument that can demonize the other viewpoint. Okay? And like I said, there's a lot of things that it's hard, to, when you look at the things that are going on in the world, it's like, man, why does that happen? Why does this happen? Why do evil things happen? We don't have all the answers, right? We don't. But we know that God will judge. God will judge in the end, and God is in control, and he's given us an outline for how we live. And Christianity has gotten so watered down in America. People don't want to stand for anything. People don't want to face the backlash. People don't want to, deal with the arguments from the friends and the nasty looks and stuff like that. You just want to have your private little comfortable Christianity. Let me tell you something, man. If you don't remember anything else I said in this video, look at how outraged these people are, okay? Just from the abortion laws that are being passed. Go look at the comments, how disgusted they are. And they feel that there needs to be a call to action. They feel that they need to do something about this, okay? Mark my words. What they're going to do is try to put people in positions of power, change the legislation, change the laws. And this is the thing. The Bible says in the last days they're going to call good evil and evil good. They're going to be thinking that they're doing the good thing and we're the evil people. The devil always comes as an angel of light. All right? He always tries to come looking like that guy, like I'm the one fighting for justice or women's rights to choose, and try to make it sound really, really good, okay? You better wake up and you better pay attention. Don't follow your feelings. Don't follow these emotional arguments. What does the Bible say? And that's what you're going to have to stand on, my brothers and sisters. You see my beautiful babies out there, all right? Beautiful babies. All right, I've been through a lot. Like I was telling you guys earlier, at one point in time, I was driving 8 hours one way just to see them every weekend, 16 hours total every weekend to see them. Okay? Love my babies. Ain't always been easy. But I would never, ever, ever, all right, just think about them just not being here because, oh, things are going to be hard. Things are going to be rough. They get to grow up. They get a chance to overcome. They get a chance to do great things. They get a chance to explore. They get a chance to live. It's funny how all these people who are for abortion are living. It's funny how we're fighting for women's rights, but not the little women in the wombs. It doesn't make sense to me. But the Bible says people will give over to a strong delusion. And what's scary to me is when I look at the comments, you know, from the different news stations that report on these things and how disgusted people are. It doesn't scare me, but it gives me that kind of fear of like, man, these people's mentality is gone. They're crying because they can't have an abortion. Very emotional, very dramatic about it. That's crazy, man. And think about what somebody with that kind of mentality is going to do. So I'm going to end this video. You just be watching, just be praying. I know what the Lord told me, clear as day. Trump is the last trumpet. So remember when I talked about the Ark of Baal being put up in New York, and right after they put it up, they passed those abortion laws, right? Remember that I said that. And then you see Trump talking about America needs to get back to God. You see these laws being passed about abortion. There's going to be a kickback. I promise you that. It's going to come through legislation and people voting for certain people in. The spirit of the Antichrist is already moving throughout the earth. Love you guys. Be blessed. Be encouraged in Jesus' name.